What's up, everybody? Sensei here. Welcome to the show. Welcome to another video. And we have a special, amazing guest here. One of the hardest working riders in the EUC game, Mr. My EUC Journey. Yoro, thank you so much for rocking out with us tonight. I wish we had your weather over here on the East Coast. And dude, we've been talking about doing lives for a while. We kind of had a slight one months ago, but we are going to try to catch up. I just want to see what kind of makes you tick behind the scene with this whole EUC game. So welcome to the stage, and the floor is yours. Just give us a quick insight of who you are, where you ride, and just run us down the charts a bit.
Well, first, Sensei, thank you so much for having me. You're one of my favorite content creator. So, like for me, it's just like I'm having a special time, special moment when you told me to come over, and then I was going to be your guest. I felt super, super honored and humbled as a writer because I'm just that's what it is. I'm just a writer, and that's how I would introduce myself. I create some content. I'm a little bit of content creator, but at the same time, it's really for the pleasure of it. But who I am for the community is just somebody who rides a lot. I ride. I had the chance to ride in Portland, in all the main area, Portland, San Francisco, LA, Miami, Colorado as well. And then so because I rode in all those different places, that's how I had the chance to meet a lot of different writers, and that's how I would define myself. And I think that's why I named myself My EUC Journey, because
It fits.
it just an EUC journey among many others.
Perfect name. I mean, that's a perfect name. And I would you ride with a lot more people than I do, but I consider myself to be just an enthusiast that enjoys the game, the whole aspect of it. I make content. I make a lot of content, but I just try to keep everyone in a loop on what I do, but at the same time try to keep people informed what's going on in the community, at least from my point of view. And I think it's a really great thing that what you're doing, how you're able to get out there. You've done many events, like you've done AVS, if I'm not mistaken. You've been to the Ant Games. So what are your review on those events, and what are you looking forward to as far as events in 2024?
So I think, it's a great question. I think event-wise, 2023 was very eventful, and then 2024, I think people have seen the potential of what can be done, and then gonna raise that potential. I know from discussion that people are actively looking for new venues and new events.
Right.
2023, there are so many events between, like you mentioned, M Game, Apple Valley, Shredfest, Oak City, the all Black Cobra events, and so many events, Riders Fest, Shredfest, so many Northwest Electric Fest, so many events that came in, and people have a better and better idea of those festival and events are building an identity. Apple Valley has a very strong, now is a staple for races,
Right.
EUC races. Shredfest absolutely is becoming also a staple for trail racing. I think, in my opinion, is the best trail race that I've seen so far. So I think that there is, so many things that have been done and that are changing and evolving. The the scene in Spain with Zen and Zenly at
Right. Yeah.
Spain also is quite, I think, not changing the game, but putting a different perspective
Exactly. Yeah.
on what can be done. So yeah, I think like 23 from an event perspective was amazing. And so personally, my favorite event of 2023, and retrospectively, I think that you know I I would I would say it's intro to speed, and I think that intro to speed is like an underrated event. It's like the something that happened on more so on a regular basis across many big cities,
Mm-hmm.
and that is, I think, what allowed. Yeah, it's intro to speed. I, no, no, I'm with James Darnell. It is an event. No, you're not paying to go and race. All right, I'm with James Darnell. I'm at Darnell's house right now.
We got a 2-for-1 tonight.
Happy with my intro to speed, but I've been to response. But I've been to a lot of intro to speed this year. I've been to at least 4 or 5 intro to speed, and I think they were the most underrated, best and most underrated events of this year,
Can I
2020.
can I say something about intro to speed? Now, I've never been to one, but what I love about that is if you're not used to racing and you go to a race, you get overwhelmed, you know? So with that intro to speed, because racing and street riding are two different things. And I think if you ride on the street and you go to a race and you get in it, you're like, wow, wait a second. You find out real quick that there's some things you need to learn, especially when it comes to high speed riding. And that intro to speed is so, so important. And one thing that I was doing and I didn't call it intro to speed. I would just go to an empty parking lot and I would just take fast rips and try to do different
Yep.
maneuvers. So
Hmm.
when I would go to a race, I would be like, okay, I'm not completely like a fish out of water. But that intro to speed, I would agree, is highly underrated and it's a necessary event.
Underrated EC
Yeah.
best. So half of the people that goes there, they don't even race. It's just for the community. So that's
Hmm.
why, like, it's community events. So a lot of people that show up, it's just family, friends, or just bystander. They're just there and then just watch. So a lot of people are just there just to hang out. So that's a big aspect. The other aspect is that it's a very safe place to practice.
Hmm.
And we are lucky. And then from what I've seen in all the places, whether it's LA, Los Angeles, or San Francisco, they are wide open places, wide open, like not parking lot, but in San Francisco, it's an airfield. So it's there is no curb, there is no pole, there's nothing that you can
Nice.
basically hand up, hitting. If
Hmm.
you fall, you just fall. You just fall on the ground, and then
Right.
there's no obstacle that will potentially injure you. So
Yeah, that's important.
aspect is amazing in my opinion. You can. I had speed wobbles over there. It's funny because you're gonna go down. You go and then there's a straightaway and then you go
Yeah,
straight, but it's fine. You know that the wheel's gonna go and then you're just gonna land and then nothing else is gonna happen.
exactly.
No car is gonna get no pedestrian is gonna get injured or
Hmm.
anything. You just lay down. So that aspect of being able to go to a practice event and practice some really life-saving skill, like period, those skill will save your life. uh,
Yes.
and in a very in the safest environment with people that will like the best writers, like I mean literally with the best writers of the world that are just there to coach you, to give you advice, to teach you things. I mean, if you ask, of course. If you don't ask, you do
Right. Right.
bother you. But if everybody's there, hey, how can I improve that? Hey, what do you think of that? Hey, and then sharing informations and trying to improve together. That's what, for me, my experience has been with Intro to Speed this year. more than than everything. Everybody came to introduce speed. All the guys from this LA came
Mm-hmm.
to introduce San Francisco. The
Nice.
so many people coming to introduce speed San Francisco. I went to introduce speed LA. I met the guy in LA, and so it's in my opinion, yeah, the most underrated, best event of 2023. And if you have the chance, it's all over. It's everywhere.
Yeah, they're
So
doing it in NYC now. They're doing it in Jersey.
yeah,
Again,
yeah.
my schedule is a little bit wacky. So for me to try to make certain things, so hopefully in 2024 I can kind of
Mm,
even things out and make it to some of these intro to speed
mhm.
events. I know they were doing it down at Pier 76, and they had some places over in Jersey.
All the new wheels every time Alien Ride was coming with the new wheels. As soon the Extreme came out, then boom, Alien Ride had it over as a demo over there. Uh,
Right.
the best place to demo wheels. It's the best place to um yeah, ask questions, try equipment. I have those like neck guard. Everybody used was that was the best good place where people could try
Mm-hmm.
a guard and see for themselves.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. What we're going to do now, first, I want to thank everybody that has come out tonight for this stream. Again, this means the world to me. If you can, though, smash the like button for us so we can try to beat this YouTube algorithm. But let's give a couple quick shout outs. And I'm falling behind here in the comments as usual. So please forgive me.
Yeah, let's
We
catch
have
up with the comments. Electric Unicycle, welcome EUC. Then Sasheri is here. Hey guys, CJ is there. Oh, CJ,
CJ's here.
CJ,
Wilson, what's
love your
up?
comment. Love CJ. And then
Spartacus, what's up, brother? Always down in the trenches with us.
George Bervin. Hey, greetings.
Hate mail. What's up? Dale is in the hizzy.
Hey,
CJ, always a
vibes,
pleasure.
easy vibes, vibes in
Vibes is in the house. What's happening, bro?
the house. My
Yeah, this is
wobbles gone.
this is good stuff, man. And what I'm trying to do, just to give everyone that's in here an insight. And again, this is my opinion. And if I step on someone's toes, so what? But anyway, I just want to take and reach out to the community and just have a platform where people can come and speak. I don't care how big or small your channel is. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes it's all about numbers in this genre. It's like if you're not big enough, then it's like you can't do anything for me. I'm not saying that for myself, but it's always a numbers game. And I want anybody, if you want to come on here, I don't care if you have 2 subs, no subs. If you have something to say, you're more than welcome to come on one of these lives and express how you feel about riding. Because one thing that I keep hearing so many people say about EUC riding, it is their therapy. It is their relaxed time. And I feel the exact same way. So please, anyone that's interested, you're more than welcome to come on and chat it up with Sensei. We got a mega stream get ready to come up. We're going to have at least 6 different people on here, as many as we can pack in. And we're going to try to lay it out. So again, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming in. It was a great 2023. Hopefully 2024 is much, much better. And if there's any ideas or anyone that you would like me to reach out to, you can always hit me up on IG or Facebook, or it's down in the comments. But again, thank you so much. And this isn't about me. This is your platform right here tonight. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some of these questions. And if there's anything you would like to add, Euro, please do so, man. This is
Ben is asking, where is introduced speed held? City and states.
you
So
would
is
good.
to find there is an introduced speed group on Facebook, and that has pretty much gathered all the different introduced speed. So far, we know of San Francisco, LA, Vancouver. I believe they have something going on in
Yeah, I
Vancouver.
believe they have it up there too.
Um,
NYC,
yeah, NYC, and
Jersey.
yeah, but there's more. There's
There's
more.
more.
Yeah.
There's underground stuff happening too.
So, but there is a Facebook group, Introduce Speed Facebook AUC Facebook group. So, yep, that would be the best way to find out.
Yeah, Ben. I mean, you could do an intro to speed, and I always try to give Ben a shout out. He's part of Pittsburgh One Wheel, and he gives an amazing riding tour of Pittsburgh. I always say Pittsburgh is one of the most underrated cities to ride in. And if you get the chance, please go to Pittsburgh, look up Ben. You can find him on Pittsburgh One Wheel. He also has a YouTube channel. You can find that just under his name. But an amazing, amazing place to ride in Pittsburgh. And what I love about riding with the Pittsburgh crew, and I will say this, Pittsburgh has some phenomenal riders. Don't sleep on Pittsburgh. They got some guys that can slip and dip back there. But what I loved about it is when we all met up, there were wheels, every type of wheel, and no one was neglected. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh man, your wheel doesn't have the biggest battery, you don't have this and that. It was like, come one, come all. We're going to go on a nice ride. If you need to charge, we're going to stop, we're going to charge, but everyone's going to enjoy themselves. And that is one thing that I loved about going to Pittsburgh. One of the best rides ever. Ben is an amazing tour guide. And please, if you get the chance, go to Pittsburgh, look up Ben and give it a shot. Great ride. Great crew, Pittsburgh crew. Intro to speed, movement across the nation.
It is a movement. Yes, it is a movement. But it's like a format. It's like it's the way that there is still a way that people lay tracks and use those cones and have this focus on racing that that I think is proper to introduce speed. There is still an effort to have that AVS type of racing, like cornering and that asphalt pavement racing,
Right.
as opposed to there is no introduced speed in on trails, for example,
No,
or
no.
paved style. So that's but another event that I really 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 love, it's the annual Marty's tour. That's also an event that I really like this year. It was not a race, it was just a social event, but
Yeah.
a lot of people now are coming to SoCal to do like the GMR and to do all those classic Marty's tour. So yeah, it's so that's that. As far as race, Shredfest was my favorite. With
Okay.
things, I
Yeah, I
mean,
missed the races last year, man. I couldn't. It's again, the scheduling for me was just not happening. Another great event too. Now it's not a race; it's just an event where you can come and meet a lot of riders. Is Shango. He does the DC and Chicago groundings, and
mhm.
I did the DC groundings one year. Oh my goodness, I had loved it, man. Loved it. Meet a lot of great people. So this year I want to do Chicago and DC. So leave that on your schedule too, riders. If you can make it to either the DC or Chicago groundings, I believe the Chicago groundings comes first, and then the DC grounding comes a little bit later in the summer. But great events, man. Really
Yeah,
great events.
like James said, we should have an intro to dirt. That's for sure.
Dude, since you said it, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's
It's
coming
it's
now.
going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Stan. So I see that Stan's questions. Thank you. I want to be honest with you, Stan. There is riders with way, way, way better form than I have. I look at myself and I just think that I have horrible, or I wouldn't say I have horrible form, but I'm so far from the form that I wish that I had. Um, if you want to look at amazing form, in my opinion, I think that you can look at Brian, of course, Show, Brian, Zach.
Mhm.
um like for me in terms of form, like Show, Brian, Zach, and of course but you don't see him that often, but when you see him, like for real, Mario, of course, I mean, those guys have some insane forms, and the way that they are able to do it is basically, I mean, even Douglas, I mean, I may as well say name them all. Um, um, the way that they are able to do is two things. They are either able to open their inside knee and
See that a
pull,
lot.
like have that, that inside knee, like say I'm going, left, I mean I'm going this side, and then they're able to open the knee which is inside in a way that basically that is basically what pulls your wheel from the inside. And then so they crouch, be able to crouch, like lower your center of gravity and pull the knee to the point that even your foot can't even roll. Like some of them are able to like roll the foot on the pedal,
Yeah, you
and
can see it. Yeah.
you can see the
Mm-hmm.
foot rolling on the pedal and able to pull the wheel the inside, and then so they'll go like this, they'll rotate their body like this, put the hands like this, able, and then pull like. So that's Douglas is very good at that. And so that's the first technique. And the second technique, the other thing, that's more like a Mario thing. But
Mm-hmm.
this technique to and those are high speed. I'm talking about high speed. How do you handle basically, a 60 plus pound wheel at high speed? Is instead of pulling the wheel with your inside, they will push the wheel with the outside leg. So basically this is what's going to happen with the feet, and it's a different like play with the feet. And then they so that you lift like this, and then so you're going to pull your wheel with the inside of your leg, and then just able to like at high speed, like you know
Mm-hmm.
get the feel the momentum, the gyro effect, like basically grab the gyro effect of the wheel from your outside foot, and then just throw the wheel on the outside and grab the gyro effect. So those are the two techniques like that where you see the riders have those crazy forms, whether you see Mario doing this or where you see Douglas doing this. It's and so yeah, just check it out, like see, like now if you have an understanding of those two ways that the feet can play, because those are two distinct way. It's either this way, basically the feet goes, I don't know if you can see it, the feet goes this way, or the feet goes this or do that. So that's those are
Right.
the technique to basically high speed torque your wheel. And then and you can use both according to the angle, the speed, your own technique, your own preference. You can use both. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
can one for one turn, the other one for the other turn. It's really like there's no rule. It's everybody has his own recipe on how they
Right.
work those forms, but that's how they do it. That's how
Yeah.
they can pull those basically those crazy forms and and have those amazing turns at high speed. I'm not anywhere near good as they are. I mean, they are unbelievably fast.
Yeah, there's definitely
And
levels to this stuff. I mean, you got to give yourself credit, man. You can still roll.
yeah,
Um,
I roll, but
yeah,
nothing. I give myself credit.
yeah,
I'm not a writer, but if you get to study, really, if you get really to study how those guys can handle G's and then just get those turn and then get those G's, like what James did at last time, like the way that he's able to smash the wheel, to take the wheel. He has a handle, and with the opposite hand, he's able to
yank
to-
that thing.
yeah, push the
Yeah,
wheel. And
wow.
so this like the same. That's one of the most crazy moments of Apple Valley, when Tone tried to take him, and then he's pushing his wheel down and able to cut him back, and then just, like punch it, and then cut the corner, and then boom, win the race. So
Dude, again, I'm far from that type of rider. You know what I mean? I'm a cruise rider, but I analyze a lot of stuff. And I always tell people any sport you get into, I always kind of relate to like sort of like martial arts or boxing or stuff like that. Because I studied as a kid, still dabble in boxing today. You have to find your style as a rider. It's like if you're a taller rider, you're not going to be able to ride the exact same as a shorter rider. So you have to try to find somebody that sort of has, it's going to sound kind of like your body type and sort of rides like you, and try to mimic what they do. If you look at every boxer, I would say boxers at the top of their game, they do things the same, but they also do things differently. You know what I mean? So you have to find something, a style that adjusts to how you ride, and then it's just mixing and matching, and it's practice, 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 and eventually you'll come up with something that works great for how you ride. But it takes time, it takes practice, it takes reaching out to different people, like you said, and trying to you just got to hone your skill. You
yeah,
have to hone your skill.
there's no secret. It's like literally like playing an instrument. There's no secret. It's you gotta put the hours, you gotta put the miles, you gotta put the practice, you gotta feel, and then as soon as you change wheel, then boom, you gotta do it all over
Oh,
again.
dude, right, right. I'm glad you said it, because it was funny, and I filmed a little bit of looking, and
You,
geez, I'm like
you
the fat
step
rat over here.
going, you get a new wheel, and boom,
Right,
and then
dude. I stepped on the EX20, and it was like I didn't know how to ride. I'm like,
I, yeah, I was on my commander, like,
yeah,
and
that's awesome, though. I mean,
wheel, and like, oh shit, man, I can't do the same thing.
that is hilarious.
So, hey Primo, hi Primo, brother. I see Primo is in the house.
Yes, we got to give Primo a shout out. What's happening, Primo? How you doing? Thank you again to everybody that's come in. Again, loving these streams, just trying to reach and dig down into the community, just to add a little more substance, not just to my channel, but just to bring people closer together, find out where different riders are from. And it doesn't matter where you are in the game. If you're a new rider, you're a seasoned rider, like I said, anyone is welcome to come on here. You can reach out to me, and we'll see. We'll try to set something up. But
Primo is very good EUC entertainment. He should be on your show.
yes, yeah, Primo. I'll have to reach out to Primo. I'll
No
reach
way.
out to him, because I
He's
meant to
mimicking
do that before. Um, Very
people.
quickly, this is good stuff right here. What Dale is saying, heel and toe when riding. Now, this
Yeah,
is something that I noticed. If you
yeah,
look at more of the seasoned riders, or even like when I first got into the game, they seem to do more heel and toe,
yeah.
because you
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of people weren't riding with pads back then.
Mm-mm.
Think about that.
No, no,
So
no, no.
you had to figure out a way, to heel and toe to excel. Yeah,
Yeah. So every time like this, you just like this on your, and then so when the heel is where you're going, like let's say like if you lift your heel, the right heel, then you're going left, and then if you go left heel, then you're going right. That's how you have to think it. Is that you have to
yep,
bring the wheel, like basically you have to turn your wheel, like pushing your wheel like this, and that's the heel and toe technique.
yeah.
That
Even
that
when I got the EX20,
but not, it's very different. It is a very different technique than when you basically open the inside knee and pull with the inside, you
yeah,
know like the
yeah,
that's not a that's different, because you that's like with your knee you're going to pull the wheel, from the inside, and the insides, and then you're even going to have, your foot is going to, but when you do this, you're not going on your heel. You have to stay flat on that outside leg. You have to stay flat. It's way harder to go on your heel and then to push the wheel both at the same time than to pull.
Gotcha.
But like try it out. I mean, now that I mentioned to you, like try it out like next time, either
No,
to go
I'll
by
definitely give that a
opening
shot.
or by lifting your heel, opening your inside knee, or lifting your outside heel.
Because usually when I get a wheel, first thing I do, I'll ride it a little bit with no pads on it at all. That
Mm-hmm.
way I can actually get the true balance of the wheel. My thing is when you get a wheel and you throw pads on it
Yeah,
right away.
pads are best riders. They have very minimum pads. Best riders have show very minimum pads. I mean, they are there, but it's not. They're not tight. They're not tied
They're
in.
loose.
Brian is fully open. He has pads, but he's fully open. Uh, uh, Douglas always, he will tell you that he gets out of his pad. He's like, first thing, like if he need to accelerate, he get out of his pad and he just punch the wheel from outside the
Yeah.
pad.
Dude, say it. I think say that one more time so people can hear what you're saying. They
So
come out the pads.
yeah.
They come out of the pads. I was watching Samuel Pacheco.
But you just need to look.
You just need to
Look at
look.
any. So same, like let's say you have a high speed. Let's say you have a high speed corner. Like I'm going left. This is my left. So
Mm-hmm.
left stick. My right will be in pad. My right side will be padded. Like you will hook the pad on the right, but the left leg is fully out of the pad. The left leg has no, like when you pull with your, the left leg has no contact with the pad.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll
Yeah.
see you'll see that the inside leg is not, only the outside leg is basically hooking the wheel to
Yeah.
accelerate inside, as like basically on his tippy toe trying to get out.
They do. No, this anyone watching, these are golden nuggets, man, to riding right here. Like for me, sometimes I'm a little stiff when I ride. I know I've gotten that in my comments and everything, but I totally understand what you're saying. You got to be loose, and sometimes being too locked in can actually inhibit how you move and how you accelerate and decelerate the wheel, how you can toss it around and everything.
It's interesting. Some riders love it. It's
Mm-hmm.
again, it's like a personal preference. So I will never, I cannot criticize it. Being locked in. Some riders and are really really fast love being locked in, and then on those a K pad. Those K pad, have there's a combination with a K pad. A lot of people, and even the Clark pads, the Clark pad that not even the pad, all of them. If you want to be locked in, you can be pretty locked in those pads. Whether it's the BioPad or the Clark, I don't remember the one that Rogers had.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Roger, Don, a lot of people have it. That Clark, phone very, but you can be locked in, but you can get out of it very easily,
Right.
get
See,
around it. Yeah.
my issue with me with being too locked in, I don't ride seated a lot. But one thing that I noticed with riding seated, I would go to sit down, and if I have the pads because I have long legs, I would get jammed in the pads consistently. So if you're riding at speed
Yeah.
and you go to sit down and you get to a point, you have to bow your legs out, then sit down.
But I'm 6'2". I'm gonna give you a hard time with that. I'm 6'2". I'm tall, same. I sit on my RS with no seat. I go down on the RS.
Nah, I don't feel comfortable doing that, dude.
Yeah, like
I
high
don't
speed.
like,
I'll
for
be
me,
full.
I don't like my legs being too jammed underneath me. And I will take, and this is
I
where
love it. I'm like this, like
I can't,
horsey, like
I can't do that. Not saying that I can't. My thing is, if something goes down, I need to be able to jump up out of that seat for me to get myself into a mode where I can take and maneuver the wheel and get out of harm's way. I don't want like that split second. If it takes you an extra split second to get up, and especially if you're struggling to get up, and I know
yeah.
this is,
I
I
have
don't know if
no.
people are going to understand what I'm saying. I always model myself after
For
sort of
me,
like my martial arts background. Hold on one
I,
second.
go
It's
ahead.
like I want to feel relaxed. Like if you're fighting and everything is just too tight, you're not going to be able to throw as fast. So I try to keep myself in a relaxed state even with my legs off. I have to jump up. That's the reason why I might be mental, but that's one of the reasons why I have so much trouble when it comes to seated riding and having my legs just jammed underneath me like a jackrabbit. So I have to work on that. But
It's meant, yeah. So like I'm at the point, so I'm lucky enough to, like, the people like import everywhere, like they were big into seated riding, so I had no choice. I had like people seated riding from the get-go around me. So I was, and Stan was asking what kind of exercise that I would do. So that would be an exercise that I would go. I would be watching a movie and then be on my RS and then going up and be on my RS, just holding the wall and then being up and down, like 20, 30, 50 times, just up and down on my RS for hours at the time, until it became a second nature. So like for me, like if I don't even really realize if I'm seated, if I'm standing, if I'm in between. Sometimes I'll be seated, I'll be lifting up a little bit, going left, right, sitting back down, standing. It has become like literally a second nature, where I don't even think about, or am I more comfortable? I'm as comfortable seated as I'm comfortable
that's
standing.
a good thing.
And like I said, I'm 6'2", and I would do it on the RS, like like it's, or on the Master Pro. And for me, it comes to, again, it's like if you put the time and the practice, like watch a movie, take your RS, go up and down on your RS, watching a movie, have a handle. Like I put, like, always put a handle. I have a handle on my RS. I have a handle on pretty much all my wheels, and then so you can basically pin the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's seated riding for me is it's such it had so much to the experience of riding an EUC. Like, you miss so much of the experience if you don't know how, if it's not like a second nature, like riding at the EUC. You're
Right,
gonna
right, right.
range, you're gonna miss on, like, for example, wind. Like, as soon as,
Wind is
people will, oh, it's windy, it's windy, it's windy. When it's windy, boom, you sit.
sit down,
Then
sit
now,
down.
boom.
That'll save you too.
Yeah.
That'll
Like, for
save you, dude. Yeah.
yeah, it's windy, boom, you sit. You want a little, if I want a little torque, accelerate a little bit faster, boom, I sit down, and then boom, it's a little, for me it's a little faster to accelerate when I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting. But everybody's different, so some people, but it is, like I said, it's not, like, you can have a great experience riding EUC and never sitting. However, you miss a lot if you don't work on this skill, and have this skill like a second nature, like you don't, like, it's not even like a something, like, yeah, city riding, yeah, whatever.
Right, right.
Yeah,
No, it's definitely a necessary skill
I
to
sit,
learn how to ride seated.
I
You
crouch
need it.
any speed. I don't even think of it. I can be 50 miles an hour standing, sit. I don't, it's the same for me. You see
Right,
what?
right.
There is no, like, I don't tell myself, oh shit, I have to stand up now. Like,
No, no, no. This is another thing what I will say with seated riding as well. It's definitely a necessary skill. Now, I ride in Jersey. Another fear of mine with seated riding is visibility because you lower your visibility when you're sitting down.
oh,
I've been hit before.
absolutely. So the worst accidents that I had was, part of it was because I was seated.
Yeah.
and and that's a reflex that I have now. I don't cross intersection seated anymore. Like, if I have
Dude,
section, boom, I stand up,
yeah.
and, then I sit back down after the intersection, make sure
That's
that the, you know
That's smart because when you're coming from a street into another street, if you ever notice, like especially in Jersey, you'll have cars that are parked so close to the curb. So when you're coming out, you're blind. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? When you're coming out this way, they're not going to see you.
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
Even like if I'm riding and then I see a car that just approaching from my I stand up. It's
Yeah.
just one of the thing for me. It's I got punished really bad hard, sitting at an intersection. It was a car that was just looking for a parking spot and then just went right to, didn't look, and then yeah, just took it full over. And so that, since then, I stand at the intersection. I
Yeah,
just,
dude.
you know every,
It's a
we all
definitely
are
you need
more
that. Like George says, what's more useful, seated riding or backwards riding? I mean,
seated,
I would say seated.
of
I
course.
would say seated.
Yeah,
Seated will save you.
but I mean, backward is like, for same. It's mastering your skill. So here is what is backward writing is good for. It's when you come to intersection. Like, for example, I do a lot of city riding, and
Hmm.
then red lights. So when you come at red lights now, you can pendulum at red lights. You don't have to just stand down. And so, sometimes you come to red lights and you know it's going to come green, or you just need to check, just it's just going to come green. So you just do a couple pendulum, and then you check, and then boom, you pass. You don't need to step, but step down anymore at intersection. So I think that's what backward writing skill gave me, is like the fact that I don't have to put a foot down at the red light anymore.
Right. No,
That
that makes a lot of sense. That
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
and
Primo
just
says
I
seated is more useful than backwards is cool, but seated riding is essential. I actually prefer seated over standard. Excuse me, over standing riding. No, I get that, Primo. I hear a lot of people say that actually. A lot of riders say that
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. Then it's seated writing is like I say, you're gonna miss a lot. You're gonna miss a lot of, like I said, it's windy. Sit, sometimes even the ground, when the ground is unstable, I prefer to sit because I have a lower
Right.
center.
Yeah, the
Going,
lower you are,
yeah,
that
going
yep, yep, makes
going
sense.
over miles an hour. I prefer to sit. It's way more fun. You on the ground. I can stretch my.
Stretch out your legs. If your
Yeah.
feet get tired,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. I can. It's just. It's cool. I think I'm like I'm like crouched on
that
my muscle,
that
bro.
will be my go-to as far as for 2024 to ride more seated. Me personally, I like riding standing up more. To me, I don't. That's just me. But I will work more on the seated riding aspect of it, and then take you out do some more video and stuff of that on me riding seated. But dude, we are going to jump into another question. You ready for this one?
Okay.
We kind of dabbled a bit. So in this one, how has buying a wheel changed, and what would you change about the whole manufacturing process of wheels now? It seems like every freaking week a wheel is dropping. And if you have a wheel for 6 months, you hear riders saying the wheel is outdated. And so, dude, what is your
Yeah, well, I understand that. I understand the perspective that people were tired and exhausted with a turnover, big O's turnover, and it's mostly big O that were dropping a wheel every other day, and where you have Kingston, Leaper came, and in motion that have been way more conservative as far as wheel being wheel release. However, the 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 progress, the 2 years ago we were 100-volt wheel, like commander is a couple of years old now,
Mhm.
and like the the advance that we'll have made in this time frame is absolutely mind-blowing. Whether it's but all the brands have made some tremendous products, innovations, and I really raised the bar in every aspects. So for me, I'm somebody that is very optimistic, and I always see the glass half full rather than half empty. And I have a lot of praise for the industry. I understand that those lot of wheel are going to be outdated, obsolete, even dead even before being released, killed by their own brands, like
Yeah.
killed by their own brands even before they have been released. We talked about it. Many times I've some wheel have just been shattered by by their own big system.
Facts. That's
Yeah,
fact.
and but I I'm I'm as long as you understand that, as long as you understand, and as long as you are being patient, as long as you don't jump on the hype, as long as you don't
Yeah.
run like the all those rabbits, and it is. Let the YouTubers do their thing, and go get the latest and greatest. Like today, as of today, I could, yes, I'm a passionate, yes, but RS today will RS 19 100 volt will fulfill 99% of any rider's need today. RS 19 will
Yeah.
fulfill
Yeah.
90% of any commuter's need. Like anybody that commutes today to work, from it to work, I bet RS 19. Yes,
It
it's better
will.
suspension. Yes, it's better if you have. Yes, it's better if you have water resistance. And yes, yes, yes. But you still can have an absolute, commuter wheel into a V12, an in-motion V12 on an RS 19, and never beep it, never it's the beep, just
Dude, I think, yeah, 100%. Like, what was crazy was, I bought my X20, and my buddy he bought a Nick AR, and he can buy any wheel he wants, and he
yeah,
bought a Nick AR, and man,
yeah.
one of
Even
the
me,
top commuter wheels out there is that Nick AR.
even if it's my only wheel, I'll be totally fine. I'll be
Yeah.
totally fine with an EKR as my only wheel today.
Mhm.
I will be doing those big, crazy, 100 miles ride that I'm doing, but I'll still be doing some pretty cool
You'll still be rolling it out.
thing.
Like what George says here, now I'm just gonna pick one of the wheels. He says we don't hear enough riders of older wheels like the Abrams Hero 18XL. 18XL is legendary. The Hero, what hurt the Hero was the price when it came out. That let me
The
let me
hype,
get this real quick. As far as with
you know,
the Hero, I heard a dealer, out or a wheel mechanic, I'll say a wheel mechanic, said he worked on a Hero and he understood why. He says that was probably one of the best well-built wheels ever. When you open that thing up, it was to the point where it was so well built that it was it was hard to work on to the
yeah,
point.
yeah,
Yeah, but he said the wheel was very well built. Abrams, they kind of shot themselves in the foot, if but now
yeah.
that they have solved the problems with the Abrams, it's
It,
still a good wheel, but they
but
kind of hurt themselves.
yeah, perception is,
Yeah.
you know, we still have. I've seen an Abraham cutting off like less than a year ago again. Just like it was an old model, but it's still like, oh, you just like, yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
fixed.
that's what hurt them. You can get them dirt cheap now too.
Yeah. No, I think definitely 2023 will give it to the X30. Um, I think that's the wheel that dominated 2023. It's going to be interesting to see for where the industry going to go. But like you asked me where the industry is going. I think that the industry is going towards, again, towards performance.
Mhm.
That there is no doubt that with the latest announcement and the latest release with the links, I'm thinking particularly that the industry we're going to again towards more performance,
More performance. Now,
top
with the
speed.
performance, I was having a conversation with another rider, and you look at the different videos, you go on the forums, and people are very their attention goes toward performance, and they're saying, what wheel should I get? Should I get the, the Master V4? Should I get the V14, the Lynx, the Patent? You know what my view is? Get in where you fit in. Any of those wheels you get, you're going to have fun with it. You know what I mean? It's like, as far as performance goes, all those wheels are, to me, fast enough. Now, if you're racing, that is one thing. But for street riding, those wheels I just named are going to give you that performance that you need,
Even in RS, like, you downtown, RS,
I was riding my RS about, I would say maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks. And I went on a night ride, and I didn't have my camera, so I could actually ride freely. Dude, I was ripping on that thing, and it just brought a smile to my face. And I'm like, man, these people still sleeping on some of these 100-volt wheels. I mean, you could still ride an RS 45, 46 miles an hour, high speed anyway, and have a good time doing it. So,
yeah. But yeah, I as from a performance perspective, I think that, so we're getting BMS. So that's like all the new wheels now are being released with BMS. The Extreme has BMS, the ET looks like has BMS. I haven't heard about the. Do you know about the Extreme Bull? If the latest that are being released with BMSs?
I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
But I think that's what I'm expecting for 2022. That's where I would like to see
Right.
going for the industry for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that comes out 2024 from now on has BMSs, so that's reasonable to ask.
I'm surprised that wheels didn't continue with that. Even if you look back, I think it was like one of the old models of the 9-bot. They had a BMS on it. You could monitor the darn batteries on one of those older models. So I'm surprised that they didn't carry that continuously with the wheels. I mean that was an old model. So
yeah, I mean, as long as you say 2024, like, because a lot of wheel even in from 2023 didn't have those.
Didn't have it.
So that's something that is reasonable. And personally, I think, like, from a hardware perspective, that we have pretty much reached a plateau. Not that we have reached a quality that I can tell that I'm satisfied with.
Mm-hmm.
That, when I see the build quality of Lipakim today, I was like, all right. Those are like nice build quality. And if you say, oh, can you make it better? Yes, you can make it better, but I'm still pretty happy with the material, the physical aspects of the wheel today.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the bigot, I mean the InMotions, all of them, we have nice products. When we go out and then we show up our wheel, they're nice. They're nice objects. They are nice product. They are nice wheels.
Right.
Well, people are proud of them, so you can tell.
Facts.
And then I think that's the for 2024, the most significant progress that needs to be made is firmware. And Lipakim is currently leading the way, and from a firmware perspective. But I believe that both InMotions and Bigot gonna have to catch up with what Lipakim is doing with firmware perspective.
Dude, now that you said that, I've been saying this for the longest time. As far as, there's not much to an electric unicycle. You open the thing up, you got a control board, batteries, and a motor. That's really about it. What it boils down to is the firmware, how it's programmed. And one of the biggest things that we can say to back up what we just said, you saw that race with Zen Lee when you had that 100-volt Sherman S pull. What did it come down to? Didn't matter about the voltage. It came down to that firmware. What's in that firmware sauce? What are they sprinkling in that firmware You
Yeah.
see? Yeah, man.
So you can see that at several levels. So first, you can see it's at low hand torque with the pattern. So with the pattern, the low hand torque of the pattern beats beats. That was the big argument, and how the pattern had a higher low hand torque of the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I mean, you can clearly see that how the pattern has way more torque at low hand. You can, I'm not sure, like higher at the higher speed, like, you know, when the
Right.
wheel is going at 10-15 miles an hour, maybe it's different. But I still, if you over torque the wheel, the pattern will basically, you know, do a tire burn, where the extreme will grind, will go grr,
Gotcha.
grr.
Gotcha.
Pattern goes and then just
Right.
make a spin. So, so this is the way that basically power is delivered to the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
The team has a special sauce in the way they can deliver power to the wheel. You can see it like on the low hand, you can see it on range. You can see how, for example, for, you know, for the same watt hour, how Lipa came 10 to now. It wasn't the case before, but now they have better range for the same watt hour.
Yeah,
Then
sipping on that battery juice, man. They
yeah,
figured, yeah,
yeah.
yes, yes.
So and top hand speed, you can see now with top end speed how they are able to, with lower voltage, match um, um, higher voltage pico top end.
Rigo's wheels.
Yep.
Yeah, it's programming. It comes down to the same thing. If you look at cars and the whole modding culture behind cars, most cars come from the factory with more horsepower that's tucked in. It's hidden under how the car was programmed. The EC, you know, the car's computer. That's why they can go in there with a laptop and hook it up and unlock more horsepower and torque and all this stuff. And you throw on a few bolt-on parts and you have a whole new different car when it comes to performance. Same thing comes with these electric motors. It's actually easier because it's all programming. It's, you know, you have to really do
Yeah.
much as far as with the hardware, you know.
Yeah, programming is where, you know, because there is so many way that you can manage power within, you know, within the board. And that's where there is like literally the most research, R&D, and progress that can be made, um um yeah, to increase performance.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I looked at this comment right here.
yeah, and they
Wobble.
talk about bubbles.
Well, wobbles. This we'll I'm gonna make a quick comment here, and then we're gonna slide on to one of the last questions. So we're not going to keep everyone too long. Wobbles are necessary. I say wobbles are necessary in order for you to learn how to control your wheel. It's a necessary evil, and you can't ride a unicycle properly, in my opinion, without learning how to control the wobbles. It happens. It's just part of riding.
Yeah,
It's
you
it.
always have, like, you know, you always have bubbles. It's just like, you know, the better you become and the more you're able to control it, manage it, you know, not get scared by it, just like, you know how to prevent it.
Mm-hmm.
But they come no matter what. When you get tired, when you've been riding for quite a bit, then boom, you just, you know, like you hit a little bump on the road, and then your feet were not quite perfect on the pedal, and then that's it.
You just keep going. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had some stuff happen to me, and it's just like, wow. I mean, really bad where the wheel, it'll literally just tip. You'll hit like, you know, you hit one of the grooves in the road and the wheel just tracks, and it's just you're like this, and you're like, okay, you know,
uh,
one of these things, and you just work it out. Get your body as low as you can. You know, some people will go see when it starts to wobble. Get your body low. Get your body low.
yeah,
Lower
that's
your
the,
center of gravity.
if you can, it's the key. Like, to stop wobble is always like, bend your knees, like sit down, like put your butt behind the wheel, and then that's the best. Like,
You
you
can
know,
carve it out too. Get your
Yeah,
butt behind the wheel low and try to.
I mean, carving out will essentially prevent,
Hmm.
but like when you carve, you kind of preventing them from happening.
Yep.
So you will be like dynamic on your wheel, and then the fact that you are dynamic on the wheel will prevent. So even when you're braking, like let's say you're braking and then you start braking and then just boom carving, like break the
Yeah.
car, and then boom, it's gonna prevent the wobble.
You can
Uh,
see it. Like when riders, when they're going straight and then they break, a lot of times you see them start getting a little
yeah.
wobble fishtail. But
Hmm.
if they're breaking and carving at the same time,
Yeah.
it's not, yeah, it minimizes
Take
that.
care of it. Yeah, the wheel stays on the side every time. But again, it's just practice, practice, practice. Just being there and practice,
Purple
and then
Rider perfectly said.
becomes
Need
the
the
same.
wobbles, another wheel. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll like figure out the weight distribution and
Hmm.
all those things. So, dude, we got a really good question to kind of bring everything together here. And I'm a big advocate for this, and so are you. As far as safety, what are your takes on that? Do you feel like a lot of stuff is rider error over manufacturer error? But what are
So
your takes on safety and riding?
it's an interesting. It's always an interesting topic, particularly when I interact with the community. Because a lot of time I don't want to flash my credential, and I have a very strong background in basically risk management and also with brain trauma, and so mostly there's two aspects. Is I'm somebody who thinks that the THZ, and that's the number one controversy in the community, is the THZ. You know how the THZ is a very controversial helmet in the community.
Right, right.
I've been a very strong proponent, defensor of the THZ. I always uh, always come and people always come with Dawn's video where she crashes the helmet, and
Mhm.
how it's basically this helmet is garbage, yada yada. And for me, it it is literally the best PEV EUC helmet. And the reason why is very simple, is because the best helmet will always be the one you have on your head, period. The best
I
helmet
hear you.
always be the one you're wearing. And it doesn't matter that whatever helmet you're wearing, it is so much more important to wear one than to
Mhm.
not wear a helmet. And then from a healthcare public health perspective, the real problem is not people wearing THGs, is the people not wearing helmet. That's the problem.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, it is. So what the THZ has done is that he has, thank you, he has the THZ has put a coconut shell on so many head, on so many riders, that
Coconut
otherwise
shit. All
would
right.
not have wear any.
Helmet. Yeah.
There's so many. I mean, I have so many riders that I know personally that it's very hard for me to get them to wear a helmet. But
Mhm.
when they want, they wear a THG. You see what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's, if this is like the Trojan horse, this is like the gateway drugs to for somebody to start wearing a helmet, and then later on, understand your that is in your own best interest to protect your head, and then to step up to ECE 2207, because that is the best certification for EUC riding. It's not DOT, it's not SNEL. The best certification for helmet and EUC high speed EUC riding is ECE 2207.
Nice. Good to
um,
know.
Yep, good to know. So those are, but this is a different. Again, this is a different topic. The the real issue today is not people wearing bad helmet. It's people not wearing helmet,
Mhm.
and why I'm like such like again the other aspect, and that's it. to jump to a different subject,
Mm-hmm.
and we mentioned it. It's visibility. It's visibility.
Yes, yes,
It,
yes, yes.
I believe that field of view in EUC writing for our discipline is way more important than people think. Way more important, way more underrated than people want to think. Why do I think that? Because I have a lot of, by experience, I've seen a lot of people hitting curb. I've seen a lot of injury and fall coming from hitting curb and pill clip. So those two things, either hitting curb and pill clip, and ribs. Like people put a clip, boom, and then they land on
Yeah,
their
yeah,
arm with their elbow. Elbow goes to the sides and break the rib. That's how they break. People break their rib when they fall on when they pill clip. And the other is because the curb they go, they don't see a curb, they go and then boom, they take the curb and then just face plant on the curb.
gotcha.
Those all those circumstances are directly related to me personally to I'm paranoid about curb. I'm paranoid about pedal clipping. Super paranoid about it. And I always want to see to have that. So I have a full face, but I have modular.
Modular. I see you do that when you ride. You can boom,
Yeah.
boom.
If I'm below 30 miles an hour, sometimes I'm 40 because I have my wheel doesn't cut before 50, so I can be at 35, 40. I'm not gonna cut. I'm fine. I let my chin open, but I feel so much more comfortable when I can see what's going on. That feeling of safety
Yes.
is way above the feeling of safety that if I had a chin guard, like a full face chin guard.
Dude,
I feel
I'm glad you said that. Can I say something? I get a
that
lot of flack for my signature helmet. I use this Shred downhill skiing helmet. And the main reason I use that thing is the visibility is top notch. I can see everything left and right to the point where I don't even have to turn my head completely left or right. I can see just by cutting my eyes. Same thing as looking down. When I look down, I see the ground and it's just looking down. I don't even have to tilt my head. I can look down and see everything. And a lot of people, oh man, that helmet. I'm like, guys, you have to be able to see in order to ride. And I've had helmets that would give more protection, but I can't see out the things. So if I can't see out the helmet, like a horse racer, horse with blinders on, there's no sense in riding with it.
fall, really really bad fall that ended up in riders being seriously injured because they didn't see what was going on right there. So it's I've seen more of those than riders having lost their face or their teeth because they didn't have a full face. And then
I'm sorry for laughing.
I heard of it. I
Yeah.
heard of those accidents. I've never seen those.
Yeah, I'm laughing at CJ. He's a Sensei's jank helmet. I love that helmet. And this is another thing I'll say about helmets. Getting back to what you had stated earlier, when I had that horrible accident, I was just wearing a mountain bike downhill helmet. It was a Bell sanctioned downhill mountain bike helmet, and I hit my head, but I didn't feel anything. I had a couple scratches on the helmet.
Yeah,
If that was my head, all this or this side would have just been all torn up. But I
we have
had no brain trauma or anything.
those DOT, those motorcycle helmets are rated for impact at 100 miles an hour speed that we haven't been yet.
Right.
They I mean those DOT, I mean those EC helmet for motorcycle are rated for way higher speed.
Mhm.
We I mean that's something that I'm always intrigued by it, because people will recognize that the THG is for it's perfectly fine for 20 miles an hour, but anybody that look at is average speed. Like, even, I mean, I'm not a slow rider. I would say I'm a fast rider, but I'm not a slow rider either. My average speed is what is, 20, 20, 22, 23 every time.
Yep.
My average speed is not 30 miles an hour. It is not.
That's what
So
people understand. And again, had this conversation with somebody. I'm a fast rider. Look, when you're done riding, look at your average speed. It's one thing to ride 50 miles an hour. You might get up there once or twice,
yeah,
but
you
add your speed together throughout the ride.
open when you have visibility, when nothing can happen,
Yeah.
basically. That's when you're gonna go and then hit those 50 miles per hour when there is no risk. But
Yeah.
when you're gonna have that um um accident at low speed that you didn't expect, it will be more likely to be a visibility problem. It will more likely to be something that you didn't see that came to you at the last minute.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, so visibility will is in EUC, in my experience, in my opinion, as if not more protective and important,
Mm,
protectant than
right.
than having a crazy, you know and that's one thing. It's a big misconception that people have. People think that um this amazing helmet will protect you better, like even if you fall at 10 miles an hour. Like,
Mm-mm.
let's fall at 10 miles an hour. If you have a snail helmet, you have a better protection than if you have a DOT helmet at 10 miles an hour. And that's also, it's a big misconception. Helmets with used within manufacturer specifications have the same efficacy. So if you use a helmet within this
The safety parameters.
the safety parameter that is meant to be
Yeah.
used, your reductions of concussion risk are the same than if you use the latest and
Yep.
greatest.
Yeah. That, I
And
mean, that's very important
that
for
latest and greatest, and then you fall at 10 miles an hour, then you have a better chance to make it. No, I mean, people die at very low speed fall for that reason, because it's
yeah.
a numbers game. It's within manufacturer specification. I think you decrease about 60% your chance of concussion, whether you have the Shoei or whether you have the TSG. If it's at 10 miles an hour, your chance of concussion are the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes so much sense. And I think these are statistics that riders need to look at. I always say wear equipment according to how you're going to ride. And that's how I choose my helmets. Like, I'm a cruise rider, so I'm usually maybe not going to go over 35 miles an hour. I know that my regular that helmet that everyone hates will protect me in that crash. But if I'm going faster, I have helmets that will protect me in higher speed crashes. Like when I'm filming, dude, I'm not going that fast. And this is another thing too. Whatever you're carrying in your hand, you have a selfie stick or a camera, you got to be careful. You fall and that selfie stick come and jab you up under your chin,
Uh,
or
my
think
hands,
about it. Yeah,
yeah,
it becomes a weapon towards yourself, right?
yeah.
So you got to be careful and know, just be mindful of your environment and what you're carrying when you ride, and just keep it, just keep it safe
Mhm.
as we can, man. That's
But
that's
yeah, so you can imagine how those perspective can be controversial
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I
with
get it.
uh,
Um, Even
hitting.
with equipment, right? You can
Mhm.
wear elbow pads, knee pads, and still scrape your knees up. You can still, scrape and bruise. There's always a chance of something not going according to plan, depending
But
on how you fall.
for that, I always tell people to really pay attention to how, because you can have great equipment, but if it's not fixed properly, if it's not used properly, it's not framed properly, then it's not to work properly.
It's not.
And that happened. A high speed crash like this, and then on the EX30, and my knee guard just flew off. I handed up.
Did it roll down? Did it catch and roll down on you?
Yep,
Yeah, dude, you see that
exactly
a
what.
lot, man. You see
Yep,
that a lot.
yeah, yeah, and
It
then
just hits and it
and
just rolls back.
it
Yep.
rolls. So he hit the first impact. That was first, but the scrape, I had the scrape. So it that's why I really there is even more riders in Spain. Like from Zane's video, you can see a lot of them have those full leather bodysuits,
Mhm.
and then ultimately that's like for race. I think that's gonna be the standard. Like people are gonna need to wear those full leather bodysuit if they wanna walk out without like at AVS. Everybody that cut out had some kind of road rashes, some kind of
Yeah, dude.
even James had a broken bone. I mean, he broke his finger, one of his
Mhm.
fingers. So it's people are gonna need to up the game of protection.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, it's actually pretty good. Now, I don't know as far as racing, but I wear a Beyond Riders. It's like a flannel made out of Aramid and Kevlar fiber. It looks just like a flannel shirt, but it has the shoulder, back, and elbow pads. They make it with the chest pads, and it fits you good, man.
Yeah,
And
it, seeing all the details, like for me, like all the details are you know important.
mhm.
The fitting, the comfort. If you want to be able to wear those equipment, they have to feel good. You have to feel
They
well.
have to feel good.
Not comfortable, you're not gonna wear it. So if you don't wear it, it's not. But again, the best equipment is the one that you wear. The best equipment is the one that you have when you hit the ground. It's always like
That's
that.
like the old saying, what's the most important part of a car? The part that's missing, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, same thing when you ride, man. Same
yeah.
thing when you ride. That's what it boils down to. I mean, we have
Mhm.
to be as safe as we can when we ride. You got to be smart when you ride. And I don't always put a helmet on. I'm not gonna come up here
Yeah,
and preach
I
to
do
people.
that. I wasn't happy when I'm like me. I always I tell people no matter what, always
Put a helmet on. Put a
put it.
helmet on.
It doesn't matter, even if it's even if you don't put it on, I'll tell you to put it on.
Put it on. No, it makes sense. And
like,
one
I like
thing,
people that don't put a helmet. I'm
yeah.
not. I have a bad trip because people don't put a helmet. Ultimately, we're all responsible adults. You know,
Mhm.
let- so I'm not. I'm not gonna have a tantrum because, but still, like for me, there is no kind of like exceptions. I think that today we have so much different helmets that have low profile, that have very low. You have such low profile helmets that are barely visible. That will just be like this and then very light and not very not inconvenient, or like very convenient. That
Right, right, right. I have a
even
helmet coming. I don't want to give the name just yet. I've
is
been waiting months for this thing, and I
mm,
can't wait to get it so I can show it off because I
mm,
think a lot of riders will love this helmet, but it gives you that sleek look with the protection that you need.
mm.
That's what I'm trying to do now is find equipment that I can wear. Like I got to be on riding gear. I love it. It looks just like a flannel shirt,
Yeah,
just like a regular flannel. I put it on and I don't stand out like I look like a stormtrooper when I'm riding, but it gives me all that protection. So when I get on a bus, a lot of times people have no idea what I even have on. Like I have my pads built into the jeans, I
mm,
have my thing, and then just have my helmet, and then I can go. So
yeah, yeah. I tell people the brain is the only part of the body that cannot be repaired.
not
We
at
can
all.
repair
Yeah, man. That's a good point. That's
everything
a valid point.
but the brain. Everything else can be repaired, but the brain. So that's you know, like I said, like just a coconut, like something low profile. A lot of time that's what I do. I just put like very my skateboard, like dirty skateboard, and
Yeah, I
then
throw my snowboard helmet on
yeah,
sometimes.
skateboard helmet, yeah, same,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even my bike. You are like a little bike helmet.
Exactly. Exactly. Again, what it boils down to, how are you riding that day? If you're going
But
out there cranking 50 miles an hour, you know what to put on, you know?
look, Mike should be Mike had the bike helmet for the for the long. I think he's still right one on the bike helmet.
Who's that?
Shibi, Mike, Mike.
Oh, yeah. Because he was riding with no helmet for a
Yeah,
while. And then,
yeah,
yeah,
met for a long time. We give him a lot of hard
a
time,
lot.
and then no,
Yes,
no,
you
yeah.
guys did. Yeah. But I mean, he's an extreme rider. So he got to protect his dome, man. He
Mm-hmm.
got to protect his dome.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of love. It's not out of
No,
proof.
not at all. Dude, that's the last thing. And I try to convey this in my videos. We love to ride, but if you get hurt, you can't ride. Uh it's
Yeah,
not fun. And again, it doesn't take
gear,
much to get effed up on one of these things. It
gear, gear.
doesn't.
Yeah, 7 lives. You
It
can
doesn't.
you can fall 7 times and be fine, and then you have no gear. One time you done.
That's it. That's
It's
it.
was that.
So
And
it's a roll of the dice. And there's two types of riders: riders that have gone down and riders that will go down. You will go down on riding an electric unicycle. It's inevitable.
yeah,
It's just, you got to protect yourself as much as possible. That's just how it is, man. Um, we're gonna start we're gonna start simmering this live down, man. I hope everyone has enjoyed themselves. Again, could you please smash the like button? Subscribe to EUC Journey, YouTube, follow them on Instagram, Facebook. I will get all this information in this video when I post it.
yeah.
Hopefully everything will be in tomorrow. Is there anything that you would like to say to the viewers before
Oh
we close out?
no, I mean, just I think 2023 was amazing. 2024. Looking forward to it. I just wanted to say hi to my friend in Miami. My friend in Miami, Wayne, Rob, UC Miami, Wayne. I miss them all, so I just wanted to say hi to them.
Nice.
And then yeah, and also all the people in all the riders in Portland from the the Portland crew. Same. They're not riding, so because it's winter over there, so they have
The weather's gnarly out.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, say hi to the all my friend up in Portland. Douglas, Kane, Sheridan, everybody over there. And then yeah, that's about it.
That's it. Euro, thank you. This was a long time coming. Hopefully, 2024 we get to ride together, dude.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got to ride together at some point.
I'll come. I'll come. I definitely like the East Coast. I'm itching for the East Coast. There's so many things. New York. I mean, New York. Yeah, you gotta ride New York. Yeah, no, you gotta ride New York for once. Like, just say you did it. But
Get it. Yeah, check it off the list, man.
yeah, but there is like few people I really need to go. I really want like in Jersey. That I really want to go hang out with, and then spend some times. Um, I'd like to go to Canada as well. The Canadians are
Yeah, dude, they got a nice scene up there. Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
is
there's definitely a few places I want to go this year.
so I got to go see Brady's. That's the person
Will
I have
Brady, baby.
on the East Coast, and
Yes.
then of course Turbo. I'd have to go see Turbo, and Christy, and then yeah, there's and Cobra, Black Cobra, of course.
Yeah, dude. Cobra's a cool brother, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I met Yus Astride, so we met already. So,
Yeah, up
but
in the he's up toward Boston.
yeah, that would have
Not
been one.
toward, well, he is in Boston.
Yeah, but I met him, so that's already crossed from the bucket from the list.
Okay.
First time
Okay,
I
so
met him,
so
real,
we'll
real.
nice.
I
So
was like,
that'll be, like I said, hopefully 2024 we definitely get to meet, not just to meet, but we get to ride and shoot the gip a little bit.
yeah,
I think that'll be a good day. That'll be a good day. and I will make sure my seated riding is on point by then.
In 2023, I met both you, Stride and Wheezy. That was amazing.
Are you met Wheezy too?
Oh, yeah, Wheezy was amazing.
Okay. Yeah, Wheezy's a legend, dude. I guess, but you know the sad part, even with Wheezy, a lot of people, like, if you know, with Wheezy. Wheezy's like a legend in the darn community, man. Yeah, Wheezy
is a fucking legend.
That's what I keep trying. And some people didn't know. I'm like, you know what?
Fucking legend. When you
he's a legend, man.
Legend.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yes.
legend.
He is a legend.
He's
And guys, I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for coming in tonight. This stream was amazing. You know, everyone keeps getting better and better. I'm going to reach out to certain riders to try to, just keep this every week, keep it going. And you're again, thank you.
You should have Jesse Pevra. Jesse
Pepper?
is that, yeah. So Pevra is a PEV Rider Association, and it's been no, so it's based in San Francisco, and active. It's been pretty active, and Jesse is the founder. So Jesse Garnier and Miles Garnier.
Okay.
They are like Marty. They've been here forever.
Gotcha.
They've been riding for as long as they've been unicycles.
Nice.
And they ride pretty much every day. Like if you go to San Francisco, that's who you're gonna meet over there.
Okay.
So that would be, I think that's the again, for the future. You asked me the question, 2024, the future, how can we progress and make the community, the sports, everything grow. The community-based association like Pevra, I think are one of the solutions. It's one of the way that you can unite, because those associations are basically made to lobby, lawmakers, and have.
Yes. Yeah, we definitely need that.
Yeah,
We need that. Because one thing that drives me crazy, this goes with anything as far as micro mobility, skateboards, e-bikes, and stuff. You have people passing laws that don't know anything about, what's going on. And it's like we're riding and they're passing laws, and you're like, wait a second. And you look at some of the information, you're like, wait a second, that's kind of blurred, right? So we need people that can step in. Yeah.
That's literally what he does. So yeah, that would be I'm looking forward to it.
Me too, man. Me too. All right, everybody, that is it. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Remember, you get on your wheel, you ride it like you hate it.
Yeah.
You be safe out there, but you ride it like you hate it. I'm Sensei,
I'm Euro, my Euc Journey. Thank you so much.
That's it. Hello, good night, peace and love to all of you. Remember, gear up. Everybody gear up, and have a great night. Yeah, protect that coconut out there. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.